Does it happen to you that you started a project and you did not know what to do exactly? That happens a lot, and if you are in this case, then you need to do some effort in order to collect and analyze project requirements. And the most obvious thing that you could start with is doing a discussion with the customer or the sponsor and talk to them about what they would like to achieve. And this is the first technique, which is the main technique that you can use for collecting requirements, which is interviews. The interview could be done one-on-one, or it could be with a group of people. You interview multiple stakeholders in order to get the scope of the project. In case of you are talking with those stakeholders at the same time, then it will become focus groups. In such case, you are discussing many ideas at the same time. Maybe you are going to vote the ideas later on, and this is called a focus group. If we are going to vote the ideas and unanimity is required in order to proceed with the ideas, if agreement is not reached, then another round of discussion will be done. Then it will be called a nominal group. In some other cases, we do only benchmarking, in which the stakeholders just try to give as much ideas as possible, and later on they will organize or group these ideas based on defined categories. Okay, so these are interviews, these are focus groups. You might also need, as project manager or project management team, to just sit and watch what's going on in order to receive as much information as possible. If, for example, a company comes to you asking, I would like to improve my processes, I would like to improve the efficiency of the work in my organization, then sitting and trying to observe the current practices is also a way of gathering information. And this is the next technique, which is the observation that you can use. Okay, in some other cases, there is a lot of stakeholders and you need to gather as much information as possible. And in this case, it's not practical to sit with every stakeholder and discuss one-on-one, and it takes a lot of time and it's not organized. So you will write questionnaires and you send them to a lot of people, and you gather information based on the responses. And this technique is the survey and questionnaires that you can use. It's efficient if you can analyze the data and decide later on what's the steps based on what's the behavior or what the audience is thinking. Okay, the next step is when either you or the customer or the stakeholders know about what they are going to do. They don't have enough information about the market. That happens. And in this case, you are going to use the expert judgment. You are going to talk to someone who have expertise in this field. They can help you with the planning. They can help you with the scope of the project, how to organize ideas, how things are done in the past based on their experience. So this is very helpful if you are new to the area, and if all around you are new to that area, you just get the help of experts. Okay, now maybe you get the help of the experts, but you need to go back to documents of the organizations, what they have done in the past, what's the processes. You do some analysis and some documentation about previous projects or other similar projects for other companies or other organizations. And here we are going to do some research. Research doesn't stop just in the planning phase. even during the execution, the project team will do some research to discover what's the best way to implement this task. Is there another more efficient way, etc. So this is fundamental, and this is something important at any phase of the project. And sometimes when you do research, you compare what you would like to achieve to what the others has achieved already, or you compare your service to the other company's service. And this is called benchmarking. When I was working in the telecom industry, we are doing the benchmarking of our network compared to the other competitors' network. In this area, we are going to compare the strength of our signal compared to other operators' signals. And if we discover that this area has lower signal than the other operators, we launch a project to improve the signal of this area. So that could be on the whole city or on the whole part of the country. We try to do analysis on every area, then we discover our lackings and we launch a project based on the benchmarking. This is very efficient, is a way of doing some research. And as you can see here, by doing research in this particular example, we have leverages the use of technology. Because if we don't have the tool to benchmarking the signal in a wide area, then it's probably difficult to take the decision. So using tools and technology will help a lot. And this is the technology part. And the technology doesn't stop with the materials to measure the signals. It could be drones. For example, drones are used in some agricultural projects. They're trying to observe a lot of areas, and then they launch it and collect information about the land, so they can launch a project based on the information that received by drones. AI, for example, and a lot of many tools that helps us gather information that will help us launch the project or adjust the planning of the projects. Okay, so imagine that we have the data here, we have done the benchmarking, we have leveraged the technology. If we are not going to analyze this data appropriately, maybe it will be not helpful. That's why we need to do some diagrams in order to interpret this data. For instance, if I tell you you have first this 20, then 25, then 29, then 20, then 15, then 40. If I give you this series, you don't make a decision about what's going on. It's not easy. Here maybe it's simple because we have 6 numbers, but if I give you 20 consecutive numbers, how you could analyze them? However, if you draw this into a diagram and do something like that, and then like that, and you can observe that there is a peak and try to analyze this, and you try to analyze this, and you see the difference between just mentioning the numbers here and making a diagram. It's a big difference, believe me. If you transfer information, raw data, into significant figures and significant diagrams, like histogram, like run charts, like scatter diagram, whatever kind of diagram, then that will help a lot in detecting the phenomena and decide to launch the project to fix this, or launch a project to maintain this momentum, etc. The last thing is related to technology as well. Sometimes, even though we do our best to collect information, we're still not sure about what to do. And in this case, we need a prototype, which is a trial, a small example of what we are going to do at a scale later on. And based on the prototype, we will know what we want to do actually. And this is very helpful actually, because the prototype is served as a minimum viable product or proof of concept. Minimum viable product or proof of concept. And usually these are not expensive if you'd like to implement. So we try to do this kind of trial before moving on and do a project with billions of dollars. So this is very efficient to gather data and understand what we would like to implement. So these are the 10 techniques: interviews, observations, focus groups, survey, expert judgments, research, benchmarking, diagrams, technology, and prototypes. There are other types of techniques that you can use for collecting and analyzing project requirements, but I'm trying to cover the most used. If you know more techniques that helped you in your past projects, don't hesitate to write in the comment box so other people who are watching this video can get benefit of your experience as well.